It is August 21st, Thursday. First day of school here. My
Yes.
grandson is in first grade. I don't know what's going on with my hair, but that's okay. Rainy, the remnants of Hurricane Aaron.
I think so. Has it hit though up? I don't think it's hit completely, has it?
I don't know. It's the
I,
remnants of
I say
something, I'm sure, because it's significantly cooler
it
than it
is.
has been, which is nice.
Yes. I was surprised. I forget where we were. Oh, we went to soccer to get like our um, fundraisers and stuff like that. And I was like, I probably should have wore pants.
Yeah. Ashley had her gallbladder out,
Yes.
so
So,
doing well.
yep.
Good.
So I
Everything
think
went well, and
a little more sore now because I've been like up and I've been in the car and like driving. So I think that's what's kind of irritating it some. But yeah,
well, glad everything went well. And
doing better.
yeah. I'm wearing the wildflower tee. We've talked about this before. It's a pattern by Tiff Nealon. It's in Wonderland yarns, which I don't think I have any more of, but you know, I have lots of yarns you could make it out of if you were. But it's really wearable, kind of boxy, and I wear it an awful lot. Neutral color with, pops and has little tweedy bits in it. So,
You even have that like make it tweed if you find a
hmm
yarn. You can
hmm
have them make it tweed.
yeah, that'd be fun too. And I just got in some new little sequins, little bitty sequins, like it's almost on a thread. So I had some that was bigger sequins and more blingy. This is just going to be really subtle. I'm thinking like hats that you just want a little bit of sparkle or a scarf. So hope to get a sample done in it pretty soon.
And I'm wearing the regimental cowl. It was a kit that I got here from Lisa's from Lamb and Kid. I have a ton left over. I thought about making another one, but I also thought maybe something else. It's like that kind of chainette blown in yarn, has the three colors, so I have a ton left of all of them.
I have more kits left, and when I used my kit, I made two of those
Mhm.
and a hat, and still had a little bit left over.
Yeah.
Probably not enough to do a big project, but so the kits, yeah, I needed it to do the cowl again. I needed to reverse some of the colors.
Yeah.
I don't think you could make it identical, but you use, your main color would be what one of your stripes.
Stripes instead. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was really
And
cute.
it worked up super quick. I had a good bit of it done, and then I kind of got put away for a while. But I had another one on today, and I was like, oh, I haven't worn this, so kind of threw it on.
Yeah. I'm thinking of whips. I rolled the dice this morning. I've been really bad about it. Since we went on vacation, I kind of got away, but I rolled this morning at home and it was 17. So anybody that's following along doing the dice roll, we're on 17 this week, and I'll try to be better. If I forget, remind me. So finished objects. What do we have?
I have nothing finished. I
Oh,
have lots of work.
hang on. Hang on. I have been crocheting sleeves on shirts. Yes. So this is for the granddaughter, I think. I don't know if my daughter will wear it on her or not. She doesn't really love handmade, but it's just like a t-shirt that I cut the sleeve off and then did this one. I did some increases so that it would ruffle because I knew with a t-shirt I didn't want like a main sleeve. So I've been having a lot of fun. I've been thrifting. Um, so this one is a 2X.
This is super cute.
It is, and it's like that acid washed.
Like,
You know what? Kind of like thrift. I'm kind of into thrifting. I never was. I kind of, didn't love it. And it's like you get it's already worn in,
yeah.
kind of. Like,
And it's like almost sweatshirty. Like it's thin, but it has that like jersey material.
yeah. So there's two. Um this one I also thrifted. This is our, if you're not local, this is our local football team, the Golden Tide. And I have some um golden black yarn. So I did the sleeves on that one. And hang on, there's more.
That'll be good for a football mom.
Yes, it would. This one, I thought I'll try some denim. So it was like a little denim shirt, and then I just used one ball of yarn and did kind of short sleeves. And then this one is a new sweatshirt that I had. I don't even know where I got it, but I put the multicolor kind of pastel, and that's a new yarn I got in. So I wanted to kind of use up the new yarn.
It's almost like shimmery.
So I thought that turned out really cute. I have ideas about doing maybe a flower, maybe a quilt patch. I don't know. My brain. And I kind of went nuts thrifting. So I have a whole table full of stuff, whole table full of ideas laying back there.
And you're doing a class tonight.
I am doing a class tonight at 6. You can bring your own shirt, or I have tons for you to choose from. I'm sure I've been trying to get a range of sizes because, you tend to buy for you. And I'm like, oh, I got to quit doing that. So I have, medium up to 2, 3X back there. I have some kid sweatshirts. Yeah, but that's been a lot of fun. Other FOs. So kind of FO, but it will be. This is my Traveler Cowl that Ashley and I were spinning to make together. It is really, so these are all hand spun yarns. Took a lot more yarn than I thought I would use. I've showed the yarn on here before. I went through all of this skein, and then what I started doing is like marling it. So when I knew I was close to the end, but not, just one row, I would join the second color and then do the like alternate for, until I ran out of the first, then go to the second. I actually used yarn that I had on the shelf to sell, but it was hand spun yarn I was selling. So I went out and pulled this one and finished up with that one. I made a mistake. If you, at the top of the cowl, it's going to fold because I got going the wrong direction, but we're leaving it. I'm hoping when I block and then it gets sewn together back here, it's going to get seamed here, and then it's like a bandana cowl. I'm hoping it'll just fold the way I want it to. So I would wear it like this because I'm not ripping it out. And it's okay.
Now, what size did you make?
I think I made the large one.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I made the large one. So, yeah. So that is almost an FO, but will be as soon as I block it. And I'll weave in the rest of my ends and seam it.
Do you remember what size needle you used?
No.
Okay.
Whatever the pattern said, 7.
Okay.
Whatever the pattern said is what I used. But I'm a loose knitter. So it used a lot more yarn than I thought it would. I really thought I would probably even have leftovers of my hand spun, but I didn't. I was actually eyeballing, I'm like, do I spin more? And I was like, oh, let's go out to the shelf and see what I have out there. Because I really wanted to just finish it up. What else? Well, I'll show my yarns that I've dyed this week and my roving that I dyed, but I think that's all of my FOs. So
right.
might as well go into your whip.
We'll go into my whip, which is mine. So I finished the first section here. I'm using a size 5 needle, the 3.75. And I think mine's a little bit more dense. And I still have a good bit. This is still my first skein of yarn, but I'm just getting into the second section. So this will be like the back. Just kind of go like this whenever it's done. But this is Sweet Georgia Fibers, a Tarhi blend. I don't remember the colorways, but that is that.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty.
It is. And then I had a little bit left over on a bobbin of a single after I had plied it. So I've seen a lot of people that will wind it into a cake and then use like the inside and the outside to spin over leftovers. So
okay,
I did that. I didn't spin them. I just kind of took it off and put it into a cake. And I'll probably spin that next because it's going to take me like a minute or two to do that. But that way I'll have a little bit left over. I started with my chunkier yarn and then it kind of gets a little bit thinner after that.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the nature of hand spun. It's not even as commercially made yarn. So
yeah,
that's the beauty. And, we were talking before we went on air that, like some of my stripes look thicker, but I really think it's just where it was a thicker section of yarn.
Yeah. I was saying lately mine has been like there'll be like super overspun and really thin and almost like spinning on top of itself. But then like the next one I knit over it, it's like a big fluffy, like hardly spun section. It's kind of been helping even it out some.
Yeah, I've been looking at e-wheels to buy one.
Do it.
I am. I know. I'm looking at the data list. So if anybody has any input, the data list, there's two different ones I was looking at, the Starling and the something. So if anybody has them and has any input as to which one, I know I want a bigger bobbin because when I sit, I want to be able to like spin. Like I want to fill the bobbin and get some yardage. And some of the e-spinners have like little bobbins, and I'm not interested in that. I want a bigger, like kind of like my wheel.
Yeah. I can do 8 ounces on my bobbins.
Okay. Well, that's like
So.
usually 2 braids, if you will.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you will, it's like 2 braids. So that's quite a bit.
Depending on how well you pack it. And then I know some of them have like the auto, like the eel or the spinner, like the auto feed, which would be fun because you wouldn't have to stop at all and it just nicely packs it. Because that's definitely something with a lot of.
Do you stop and move hooks? That's how like my wheel is.
So mine have 2 hooks in on the bar and you just move, like slide the hook down.
Okay.
So yeah. And then there's 2 on each side of the flyer. But typically I just end up using one because they're kind of backwards, like one's up, one's down. But yeah, I just slide it a little bit at a time.
Okay. All right, good to know. Yeah. I'm gathering information before I make, it's a purchase. It's a, not a cheap purchase, but it's a tool that I would like to have and eventually.
Yeah.
Whips, I have 2. I know I've showed these before. They didn't get a whole lot of attention, but now that now that I have the class tonight and then I'll be able to get back to knitting a little bit. I wanted enough samples to show because each one I did something a little different on the shirts. Like some are, the granny has 2 double crochets, some have 3, some I did a shell. Like I wanted enough variety to show, this is what this looks like, and then they can choose. So this is my, please don't come off, Alma Mini. This is yarn from Rags. I haven't given it much love, but this is like a little shawl. And then at the very end, you end up weaving in ribbon through these holes. So I'm pretty anxious to get back to this and get it going. It won't take too long to knit up. Just a 1 skein project. And then the fun part's at the end when you put the ribbon in. Anything else you're working on?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes.
So since I was off and I was kind of not really doing too much, I knew I didn't want to work on like one thing too much because I didn't want to hurt myself. So I was switching it up quite a bit. So this probably got the most love. This is my 6 Ave Skater Skirt.
Oh.
It's my test knit for Brie of the Little Wolf Knits. I put a marker. I was roughly here last time, so I did probably a good 6-8 inches. I only have this much of my first ball, and then I'm gonna do another try on. I tried it on.
How did it fit?
It fit really well, actually.
Good.
So it is a test knit for Brie the Little Wolf Knits. It is in her Maria Grande color, which is one of her Italy collections, and I really love how it's like working up. It's pooling a little bit, not a ton, but it's just kind of a nice, and I think it'll go well with a lot of colors. It's just on her Sunfish, which is her fingering weight base. I'm using US 5, which is what the pattern calls for. I'm doing the size 6, which is a 42-inch waist. I used 1-inch elastic in, which that was a new technique for me. You did a purl row to kind of make an edge and then knit and then 2 together to kind of make the seam for that. So that was a fun new thing. And there are 2 different shapings for it. There's an A line, which is what I'm doing. So they're kind of spread out the whole length of the skirt. Or there was another one that there were less increases, but they're more like in the hip area. So that one definitely won't end up to be as big at the bottom. I think I'm going to end up with like 400 stitches or close to it. I think I cast it on 150 or so stitches, maybe even more than that.
Wow.
So it's going to be.
How many yards does the pattern call for?
For my size, which is like kind of the middle of the road size, I need just into my 3rd skein of yarn. So it's actually not terrible.
No, that's not awful. How long's the skirt going to be then? Like above the knee?
Yeah, like knee length, a little bit above possibly.
Okay.
I think it's 15 inches is what
Okay.
like on the schematics. So I think last time I
What's the
counted,
bottom look like? Is it just like it ends? It just
it's a I cord and yeah, an I
okay.
cord bites
Okay.
off. Which that's what I need to look to see because my Bay Day also has an I cord and it rolls, and I know I'm not gonna like it if this rolls. So I gotta figure out. I think there's a way you can do like a setup row or two to help it from not rolling as much.
Okay.
I think though as the skirt, it's gonna be bigger, so it may not be as bad. The Bay Day has like a scoop in the front and the back, so it rolls, and then it gives too much fabric. I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so this has gotten the most work. I think I'm on row like 65. I'm on an increase row, so I don't want to work on it now. I'm losing my marker
Don't
though.
lose.
I am you increase on this one. It's every like 9 or so rounds. I think I'm on like 60 some of 125.
Okay.
So a little over halfway.
Good. It's going to be really cute.
It is. I can't wait. And
I'm kind of interested in making one now that I see yours.
yes. And her patterns are always written really nice. And with this, really, it's the like adding in the waist is probably the hardest part. They're just like where to put the increases at. So
fun. And she's using a stitch counter. I know if you look, they're like little, I don't have them here at the shop, but I have some. So you move like the little chains each time, and that keeps track of your rows.
I actually have on another one of my projects, I have the one for working flat. So you can there's evens or odds. So whenever you're working flat, you can do that as well.
Yeah, it's a neat way to keep track. I've never used it, but I have them.
I like them for something like this that has a ton of repeats, or that way I just like made a little cheat sheet of when I need to increase and then can go.
My next whip is I'm working on, it's called Lucky in Luckenbach. And it is like a asymmetrical scarf, 2 colors. I am using my yarn I got in Montana. And then I'm going to use, so this is like kind of my main color. And then I'm going to use this. It looks purple. It's not.
No, it's like a brown.
It's like a brown, like a mocha, if I had to say. So those are going to be my 2 colors. And it has not gotten much love because I've been on a crochet kick. But, you know, I basically cast on and did a couple rows. But we're traveling the end of the month. End of September. We're going to Ireland to watch the Steelers play. So I wanted a couple things I could take that were mindless. I'm sure I'll take socks. My next pair of socks is going to be Tony's yarn. So I got this when we went down to Tony's shop. This was her colorway for the Steel Valley Yarn Crawl. It's called Joy. And I bought 2 skeins. I gifted one. So I only have 1 skein. I was going to do a sweater, but it's okay. I'm going to do socks now. So I think this is what I'll take with me because it's nice and bright. Like if you're traveling, I feel like you don't want dark colors because you never know where you'll be, like on a plane or, you know, I know we're on a tour, like we're with a group. So we'll be on a bus traveling, you know.
Now, have you looked into Ireland for like taking your needles and things like that?
I traveled there once before. Well, I went to England, then Ireland. I didn't have any trouble.
Okay.
What I always do though is I take a project with me, obviously on the plane, with interchangeable needles. So what I do when I get before I get to TSA is I twist my needles off, throw them in my purse. So it looks, when it goes through the scanner, it looks like nothing, like a ball of yarn. And then, you know, if I make it through TSA, which I always have, then I'll just, you know, twist my needles back on and be able to knit. And then I have a second project in my suitcase.
I feel like I've heard Mexico is really bad. Usually
Mhm,
that's the one because they define a knife as like any pointed metal object.
mhm.
So a lot of times like that people need, and it's not getting into it. It's whenever you leave
Coming back.
is
I've
the
heard
issue.
that too, that, the United States side going is normally fine.
But it's when you
The
come back.
the coming back. Only one time was I ever kind of stopped, and it was in North Dakota of all places. We were flying home in this tiny little airport, and they were real worried about my cake of yarn. It wasn't my needles. It wasn't, I usually take fingernail clippers, not scissors. And
Mhm.
even if they're little scissors, I usually throw a pair of fingernail clippers in because, you need fingernail clippers anyhow.
Yeah.
And you can clip a yarn. They were real worried about my cake of yarn. And I said, pull some out. Like there's nothing. I don't know if they thought I had drugs in the middle of the cake.
Yeah. Or maybe like it was dense or something. It
I,
looked
I don't
pretty.
know. I said, it's just yarn. I said, go ahead and like pull some out. You won't hurt anything. And they were
Mhm.
like, oh, okay. And they did. Like they pulled out, a few inches and they were like, oh, you're fine.
Yeah.
And I was
I'm
kind of
sure.
like, what did you think? And they, didn't really answer me. It's none of my
Yeah.
business,
I've
really.
never had issues either flying. I've never flown internationally though with them. So
Yeah. I mean, I always have a backup and my own anxiety. I twist my needles off because I figure if you throw them in your purse, it looks like a pen or a pencil
Mhm.
going through the scanner. Like it doesn't look, although I have a friend that works for the DEA and she works at an airport and we've flown with her. She's one of our friends that's going on this trip with us. And she's like, oh Lord, like if I were on a plane, you're the first person I would come to. Like if I were a terrorist, like if I were, a danger,
Yeah.
she's like, oh yeah, you'd be the person I come to. That's a weapon. I was like, ooh, but no one pays you any attention normally.
Yeah.
A lot of times the stewardesses are knitters. I feel like they have a lot
Mhm.
of downtime
Yeah.
and they'll
There.
stop and talk to me and be like, what are you making? And I'm like, who do you knit? So I've met a few different airline, stewardesses that knit.
Mm. There's the Nitty Stew, which is another
Yes.
podcast I watch.
She's super cute.
She is.
And her podcast, she takes you with her.
Hmm.
So she does a lot of tours of the area. So I highly recommend her.
Yes.
She's a good
She's
podcast.
a Canadian stewardess.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
Speaking of Canada, it's going to get weird here with tariffs like this week.
Everywhere. Not even. Yeah.
Yeah. Just hang on, folks. I mean, it's got to even itself out, but I know there's a lot of companies that are no longer going to ship to the U.S.
At least I think the biggest issue from a lot of the posts I've read is there is no way for them to know how much it's going to cost, and there a lot of people's fears are it's going to need paid to pick up your package, almost like if you take it to the post office and it needs more postage, and they're worried people aren't going to pay that because we have no idea what it is, so that they're worried things are going to get shipped back, and then they're out all of that money. um,
Yeah. So I know a lot of companies for right now. I mean, this is temporary. It
Mhm.
will all settle. It'll be okay. But just hang on. If your favorite company isn't shipping now, it's okay. It'll be back. It'll all settle down. But in the meantime, I have lots of yarn. Whatever you're looking for.
yeah.
I know some of the companies that I purchase from have emailed. Most of them have been in contact, and they're going to eat the cost for now. Because they don't even know how to upcharge.
Yeah.
But prices may increase. That's the reality. We
Mm.
may end up paying more, but we'll see. For now, I have tons of yarn. I'm not worried. The shop will be fine.
Mhm.
It won't affect us directly in the near future. So it'll be okay. Any other whips?
Oh, yes.
Oh gosh. See, this is what happens when you're home.
Yes.
When you're homesick.
So this is my granny shawl wrap. I was really hoping this was my thing that I figured if I could finish anything, it'd be this.
Oh, pretty.
Um,
I'm holding
so
it for you.
yes. So this was my Mary Margaret Fibers. It was a 12-day kind of summer neon advent. I waited last night because what I didn't want to do is I was only opening them when I was ready for it, but I didn't want to I knew I was going to feel good and I wanted to be able to take it with me into the hospital. So I just wound up the last, I think it was 4 mini skeins. I waited last night. There's about 60 grams, so I should have what 3-ish more colors in here. And I'm
So you wound them all together.
yes,
So this is like a magic ball.
pretty much. So the inside is number 12, and then 11,
11.
and then 10. I think
Okay.
this is 10 or 9 possibly.
let's count.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So yeah, I'm on color 10. So this was just a granny kind of scrappy. I was had it kind of on my shoulders last night and I was like, it's gonna be like a really nice size just to kind of keep around, throw around. It will fit kind of as like
A
a
bandana.
bandana type too. It's very long that way, but it'll be nice and cozy. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm
And the colors
excited.
are great.
Yes, and these are how they came. I left them. I didn't play with them at all. I just originally started opening them and doing it, and whenever I was ready for the next one, I
And
opened.
that's still kind of a fun surprise. Like,
Yes. Like just to kind of see. And then I was like, oh, can I like not really pay attention? But I was like, oh, I just want to line them up beforehand so I have them all. Now the one thing I lost my hook and I couldn't remember what size hook I was using. I didn't look. The place I didn't look was the car, but I had it before I went into surgery, and then they put my bags like in a locker, so I'm not sure if it may have fell out then. So I started, and I found two crochet hooks that I was like, oh, maybe these are around the same size because I was like the next day, and I was like, I want to do something. And so I'm like, I know where my stuff is, but I have to find something that's easily accessible that my husband or my son can get for me because I like can't go bending trying to dig through all of my stuff. So I changed. It's a 4.5, which then I actually just looked at my show notes from a couple episodes ago, and I was using a 5. So this is a 7, so it would have been a 3.5, I think it is. So it is a little bit bigger. What I had done a couple rounds now, you really can't tell.
mm-mm.
And I thought for some reason I was using a 5 millimeter. So whenever I used, I think I had this 4.5 and a 5.5, and the 5.5 was definitely bigger. So I pulled it out. I used this. You really can't tell. And on a couple of the ends, I've done instead of 3 clusters, I've done 2 clusters, like 2 double crochets, just to
Mhm.
kind of help it even out so it wasn't so kind of big of a change. But it's been nice. It's super mindless. It's getting to the point now that it's getting to be a little long. Like it takes a while to get around because it
Yeah.
is pretty big.
But
But
if you concentrated, you could have it done this week.
oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, I only have 3 colors
Oh,
left,
next
so
time.
definitely
Yeah.
that was my goal, but didn't quite get there.
That's okay.
So
But you got lots done.
I did get lost. I think I have probably 3 colors since we saw it
Yeah.
last. I have 2 more.
Go ahead. I
Okay.
don't have any more.
So this one, I didn't do a whole lot of work, but I wanted to get it in the round. So this is my Lizarine tank by Audria Berdega, I think it is how you say her name.
Is she the one that put all of her patterns up
For
for
free,
free?
yes. So this is the yarn that I got at the Fluff for the Love of
Oh,
Fiber. It is yarn